And good morning once again. Welcome back to the Schooner Morning Show. I'm your host, Mark Prevost, and we have the new upcoming host and the new resident services director here at Schooner Estates, Samantha or Sam Seebode, Seebode, right? Mm-hmm. Samantha Seebode. She has started here at Schooner Estates. We're going to have about a month or so to have a smooth transition and have everything go well. She's going to be meeting with you folks and building by building and coming up on the calendars so that she'll be able to talk with you and listen to you and just get her feet wet, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
Sam, so tell us where you were born.
Oh, I was born Long Island, New York. Actually.
Long Island, New York.
Yeah. I was not one of those people that was, a summer vacationer. We were a year-long kind of family there. I was there for maybe 10, 11 years of my life.
Yeah.
Then I moved to Virginia, where I went to undergrad. And then I ended up here in Maine somehow.
So just you, not your family?
Nope, just me.
Just you ended up in Maine. So your family's down in the Virginia area?
I've got some family in New York and I've got some family in Virginia.
Right, yeah. And so I take it you went to grade school or so in New York?
Yes.
Through the New York system?
Yep.
You didn't know Ogie. There was a teacher down there. My uncle was a teacher in Long Island, New York.
No.
His last name was Ogie. They called it Auger.
Oh.
Augei.
No, I went to Catholic school.
You did, okay. Yeah, I don't think it was in Catholic school, but
unless your uncle was a nun.
Right? No. I won't go there. Anyway, so then over to Virginia, and you said you went to school in Virginia.
Yep. I was there for high school, middle school and high school, and then I was there for undergrad as well.
Yeah.
I did my undergrad at James Madison up in Harrisonburg, which was beautiful. Over by the Blue Ridge Mountains, that area.
Yeah.
And I was there for a little bit after college, and then I moved around a tiny bit and then ended up here about 5 years ago.
So how did that happen? How'd you end up in Maine?
Well, I decided that I didn't like hot weather. So I thought, where can I move that's not out of the country, that's cold most of the time, and also has really great seafood? Those were kind of my tipping points for Maine, and here I am.
Well, you found Schooner Estates. We have the best seafood.
Yes, that's what I've noticed.
The kitchen just is amazing, and Samantha has worked in other facilities, and she will attest. Very few, if any, facilities offer seafood every day.
Oh, yeah.
This is one of the few, I would say, that I've ever, and believe me, I check out senior living communities everywhere I go, and there are very few, if any, that offer seafood every day.
Yeah, it's such a pleasure to be here and to be enjoying that, and to just have that as a part of the culture is awesome. It's such a big part of Maine life.
It is. It is.
So I'm glad to have that kind of around me all the time.
And you mentioned cold weather. We certainly have that, although
yes.
The last several years it's been getting warmer.
Yeah, I actually moved here, I think it was January of 2016. So I moved midwinter because I like to do crazy things. And it wasn't too bad. It actually wasn't that bad. I think the thing that I was most impressed about was just that it snowed one night, and by 5 a.m, snow was gone off the street. Very impressed.
And that's very unusual for Maine. Very, very unusual. But we've had some odd Januaries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was nice. It's been great so far. I mean, I've been through a couple winters that were a little wonky. But what I've noticed is that the weather change has sort of pushed a little bit. So like summer lasts a little bit longer, fall lasts a little bit longer, winter lasts a little bit longer, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it's
eventually we'll actually
really
have
weird.
Christmas in July, I'm sure. So
and we can make that happen at Schooner Estates. We can make anything happen. Well, it's extremely interesting. What was your major in college? What did you?
When I was in undergrad, I did psychology and religion, and my minor was in family studies.
Oh.
I grew up with a religious background, and it always kind of interested me to see sort of what else was out there.
Yeah.
What other people are thinking, and what what really was interesting to me was the way that people create meaning in their life. How do they, find a sense of purpose? What gives them a reason to exist and to continue doing what they're doing? And I find that faith tends to be one of those things.
Definitely, yeah.
Work and finding work that's meaningful and just engaging, I think, is really important for me, especially since I am of the working age. I think it's important to be able to find work that means something and that feels important, and to have something to look back on later in your life to say, I did that, and that's pretty cool.
Right.
And I've always found that my experience in working with other people always brings me here. I always feel better when I'm able to be around people and work around people, and engage with them on, little stuff or big stuff. Just, I like being in people's personal lives. And it's just nice to be around people.
Sure.
And I might be pushing that a little bit more because I did some work from home work during the pandemic. And that was rough. It taught me that I need a social,
right.
I need people. And I missed them so much. And so I love being able to come in and, see people walking through the hallways and, interact with people in the office. And that's really important to me, to really interact and rebuild some of those connections that we're all kind of missing over the last year.
Oh, boy. Yeah. I can't imagine you working alone in a home.
No, not a chance. People talk to their dogs, when they're on a walk, but I talk to my dog throughout the entire day, because I needed someone to talk to.
There are quite a few people that do work home, from home, and love the solitude, and they love the aloneness so that they can concentrate on their work and get it done. And I have quite a few friends that are doing that right now. But we're all different, thank God. Thank God we're all different.
Yeah, I was so, I'm so blessed to be in an opportunity where I can interact with people all the time. Because it's that's what brings me life. That's what brings me a sense of joy and excitement, and just being around people is my jam.
Well, you've got it here.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that right now. You certainly have that here to the 10th degree, if not more. So what other things do you enjoy? Do you have hobbies? Are there any hobbies that you enjoy? Or?
Yeah, well, I do a lot of stuff with my dog.
What kind of a dog?
She is a shepherd mix, but the best way to describe her is an oversized egg roll with legs. So if you can imagine that with a little bit of fur, spot on. Her name is Louise, and she loves to kayak. She loves to go swimming, anything water related. So summertime, we're constantly at the beach, constantly at the lake, whenever we can be.
Wow, yeah.
She's great at balancing on a kayak, and so I love going out with her because it's not as messy as it would be with a dog who can't swim very well. We love that. I like to take drives to new places. I'm not from the Maine area, obviously, so I like to kind of explore a little bit. And new food stuff is always kind of on my mind. So I love that. I currently live in Portland, and so I love the sort of the food environment that they offer, because there's so much different cool stuff to choose from all the time. I'm big on that kind of thing. I love to bake. Baking has been sort of my go-to, self-care kind of relaxation kind of thing. I love making shortbread because it's pretty simple. Granted, I like complicated stuff too, but that's always kind of nice. It's easy recipe, get it done, and then you can eat all of it.
Right.
That's really most of what I like to do. My mom used to bake all the time, so that I think that just kind of got passed on to me.
Yeah.
And so I watch lots of food TV and stuff like that, and that's always that. I think meals and food prep and eating have always been a source of connection.
Yeah.
You eat around the dinner table, that kind of thing, and when you live by yourself, you don't really get that as much. So
Yeah.
being able to share some space with people through food has always been really important to me.
Absolutely.
And so I love being able to do that, which is why I've got Ice Cream Social set up. Just because it's just a good way to connect with people, I think.
Sure, absolutely. Everybody loves food.
Exactly. And you can't go wrong with ice cream.
Right.
So.
I've always said, unless you're sick.
Right.
Food is one of the most important things
yeah.
here, unless you're sick. Then our nursing department and personal care staff are invaluable.
Yes.
And those are the people that you want to see. And then, of course, chicken soup is always great.
Yeah.
Our soup here is second to none, I think. Any soup they make is always very, very good. And it's interesting that you like to travel, because my wife and I just adore traveling.
Yeah.
It's one of our favorite things, and it's something we plan to do a lot more of when I finally retire. But we will go out on a weekend and go find new places and new things and things like that, and it's just a lot of fun. We had a lady that lived here at Schooner. She lived here to be 102 years old.
Wow.
And she said something on a bus trip one day that resonated with everybody, and it became one of our taglines in our advertising. She said, "I've lived in Maine all my life, but I never saw Maine until I moved to Schooner Estates."
Wow.
Wasn't that something?
That's cool.
What a great marketing line.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
You know? And I recently had another tenant say that to me, and she didn't even know the other tenant. So it's interesting to hear that. And folks do like to travel, and Maine is so vast. It's such a big state.
Oh, yeah.
Land-wise, and there is such variety in the layout and the landscape that you can see. So it's never ending.
Yeah.
I mean, you can go somewhere different all the time.
Yeah, I appreciate definitely that there is always a scenic way to get somewhere. You know, you could take 95, you could take 295, good, great, get there fast. But if you want to, you know, like be in the moment a little bit, there's always something to drive by.
Yes.
You know, when I drive up here, I take 295 for a portion of it, but then I get off in Durham.
Yeah.
And so I drive where the river is.
Route 36,
and
yeah,
the
it's
best.
beautiful.
It's so nice to see.
Yeah.
Especially in Portland, you don't have as much sort of around you to drive near, with the exception of going to the beach and things like that. But it's nice that it's a part of the commute to explore a little bit in that sense.
Right.
And I definitely found early on that it's really easy to get lost in Maine. But it's not the worst. It's not the worst experience, you know? It's not bad. You can always kind of find your way back.
Right.
There's always something that you're like, okay, I know what that is. I should go in that direction. And that's never steered me wrong, really, at this point.
Well, you're not a Mainer, so you don't realize one of our famous taglines for the state of Maine is, "You can't get there from here."
Right, yes.
Somebody stops and asks for directions, you say, "Well, you can't get there from here."
One day that'll be my tagline.
Right. No, you can get anywhere from anywhere. It's just a matter of how you do it.
Yeah.
Always something to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, we're not going to release any big news. We're going to give you a chance to talk to people. And
cool.
In the upcoming weeks, on every Thursday afternoon at about 3 o'clock or 3:30 or whatever you decide, she's going to meet with folks from a different building for the next month, so that you'll have an opportunity to meet her. She'll have an opportunity to meet you, and all of you folks can have a dialogue, which you've just heard is her favorite thing to do, and have a little bit of ice cream and learn more about each other. We've had a chance to learn a little bit more about her today.
Yeah.
Some of her hobbies and her aspirations and the different things that she's done, where she comes from, and how she ended up here in Maine. So I hope that helped you a little bit. I hope you enjoyed our little interview today. Is there anything else you'd like to say to other tenants?
I'm just really excited to be here. I'm so thankful that you guys, you know, are excited to have me. You know, we're gonna miss you, Mark. Despite me not knowing you very well, I know we're gonna miss you a lot. But I'm excited to take this on, to really bring my own shoes in
That's
some
great.
sense.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like we said, the same, only different.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
And she'll be bringing in some new and exciting things. And
yeah.
I'm just excited for you as well, and excited for the tenants. And I think everything's going to work out very well. So
yeah.
Good to hear. Thank you for coming on the show, and very soon you'll be taking over. You'll be in this
Yes.
seat and you can visit with people. We've
I'm
got a new
excited.
sign ordered, and we will get all the transition taken care of and done very smoothly. So once again, folks, I thank you for coming and watching the show. It's called the Schooner Morning Show, and we'll try to keep it going as long as we can. And we'll have tenants and staff. We've got some more volunteers that have stepped up. We're waiting for you. So just call and say you're ready to have an interview, and we'll tape it just like we're doing today, and we'll play it at a future date. So we're always ready to do an interview whenever you are. Have a great day, everyone, and thanks for tuning in. Thank you, Sam.
Of course.
Bye-bye, everyone.